GP. We are without reigning world champion Marc Marquez this weekend as he recovers from injury, whilst at the top Jorge Martin's Le Mans double places him within just a point of teammate Marco Bezzecchi in the standings, with the Noale factory on top. We quite literally do not know where to look up and down the paddock. Thankfully, Friday offers us a chance to dive through it all, at least in the morning before the all-important afternoon practice sessions. And that's what we're going to do. You join myself, Kiko Giles and Elliot York up here in commentary for round 6 and the Catalan GP. We're at home here in Barcelona. It is quite literally our home GP, even if we are from Great Britain. But quite honestly, this is a city that should be on everyone's travel and MotoGP bucket list. Good morning, mate.
Good morning, mate. Yeah, nearly a quarter of the way through the season already is quite ridiculous. Really, time flies when you're having fun, though. That is the old saying. And yeah, great to be here at the Catalan Grand Prix. As you rightly mentioned, it is a home Grand Prix for us, albeit probably one of the worst in terms of getting to and from the circuit, because we obviously live in downtown Barcelona, so an hour to and from the circuit isn't quite ideal. But once we're here, as you can see, they've done a lot of work to the paddock and the surrounding areas in the last few years. Of course, Formula 1 come here as well, and when you're hosting MotoGP and Formula 1, the facilities need to be top notch, and that's exactly what they are. And we always get a fantastic crowd. Of course, this is a region, a country, of course, in Spain, where they absolutely adore motorcycle racing. They had the Fan Fest in Barcelona, Hasil Catalunya, the city centre, on Wednesday and Thursday, which is great, a new initiative that we hopefully will be seeing a lot more around the world. And yes, hopefully the sun will come out a little bit later on, certainly tomorrow and Sunday. But I do think the fans coming here today are going to get a little bit wet. Definitely this afternoon it should be raining, which, you know, we're not too against. It throws a little bit of extra spice into the mix in practice. But yeah, great to be here in Barcelona. A wonderful circuit as well. I think everyone agrees with that.
It's one of the best tracks on the calendar for me. I love Barcelona as a circuit. I really like the city. That's thankful, isn't it? Because we've been living here for 7 years. Your championship standings in Moto3, as we said, Maximo Quiles is just in mighty form ahead of Adrian Fernandez. Alvaro Carpe dropped the bike and dropped the ball last time out. He's third. Valentin Peroni's consistency and points in every round see him fourth. Indonesia's Veda Pratama just edging out Marco Morelli in Argentina for the final top 5 placing. But we'll talk more about that as we roll on. You mentioned the weather, Al. It's chilly out there today. I've got to say, it's very, very cool. I've braved it coming over from the paddock without a jacket. I don't think rain's going to be the concern in the morning, but for sure in the afternoon we are expecting a real downpour later on today. We've actually had rain in the region pretty much all week. We had a massive thunderstorm on Tuesday evening. It was quite something. Hailstones, thunder, lightning, very, very frightening. Galileo.
Deary me, what a start to Friday morning that is in Moto3 commentary. Apologies to everyone tuning in for that one. But yeah, we have Sunday should be okay. Sort of low 20s is.
If we'd come here in April, it would have been brilliant throughout April. So really, really good. And yes, May's never really been a corker. You do have quite a lot of thunderstorms. And Moto3 FP1, the clock is ticking down. And now the rest of the Moto3 brigade is a really tight, technical, fast-flowing, sweeping corners.
Slipstream is absolutely vital out of turn 4 to turn 1 point straights on the calendar, and as I love seeing the bikes come out of there. And then turn 4 is a great here at the circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, and Nureira is absolutely wonderful through turn 14, finishing just behind the race, which of course Raider here last year as well. So dry track time we're going to get today. It's 13 degrees going in, but you've got to be careful on running we're going to get on Friday. You don't want to then chuck it down the road early doors in FP1.
But really the bigger thing is out on bike, of course, Moto3 and Moto2. So it looks like practice is going to be held in wet. In the end, it was quite different to what we expected.
Two got away with it, and then MotoGP also for a couple of hours after the race anyway. Not great for the riders, of course, very tricky conditions.
Got to say, just before we move on, obviously we'd have all come off air by that day. Kudos to all of the team here, and it does exactly the same on 7 for me. And I love being in the paddock, doing all the setup in all kinds of rain, and it's miserable. Well, that's when the highs are the highest. But big shout out to all of the members in the paddock. Top 10, 9th at the checkered flag team boss Michael Laverty is pretty happy with. And
great to see O'Shea finally showing what he's capable of last time out, and it wasn't just a flash in the pan on Sunday. P10 and then of course went on in with Kelso. Had a really good weekend as well before his crash, of course, of the season, and he said he felt like he had in those conditions, cold, windy. Parpe, for example, 2 leading contenders in this championship, and a great job done to finish inside that top 10.
Rhino, aim if we can. Fantastic ride in dodgy. Teo Bertelli, I'm a big fan of him. He's a really year. He missed this round here last year, but to come up at Jerez, so big kudos.
Well, watching in, tuning in, and if you're a Moto3 fan, you clinching that debut podium over in Austin. That if he didn't return when he did, he might have not been hard graphed, and it was a little bit of a tricky when he finished P4 on a Friday. Finished, I think he had described it as early, did 400 metres, pick it up, as you say, with a long lap penalty, pre-career. After everything that's been through, the start of last year from the Italian, he didn't really getting to where he wants to be. He's still got a little far away from being a Pensier, who has a lot of faith in Bertelli. He knows what could have happened after that with his story, and as you mentioned as well, he's a fantastic guy. In motorcycle racing, when people like
team boss Alessandro Tanucci, of course, as a rider, as we say, he's been after that when he crossed the line to start, you get back towards the pointy end. He's in 9th place. He's just 1 place ahead of the rider on your screen, jumps up inside the top 4, top 5, and unfortunately Michael Laverty's Hondas have definitely found some
speed. Of course, he's really brought that team forward, Australia, and overall it was a really positive week, and great to see Kelso back on the front row his first time. Was feeling really comfortable, the pace was strong, just lost the front without too much warning, he said, and it would have been a great result. So unfortunately the 10 again, but it does feel like now, and Kelso last year, the one challenge for victories on a regular basis, not just in the wet conditions and on a Sunday. Kelso is right there. So yeah, this is now what we're starting to see mentioned at the start, that the jump from the KTM to the is completely different, and now of Staban and Ramersdorfer.
Yeah, Joel runs home GP as well. He was always going to say, just to finish on Joel Kelso, if we can, 7th, and his best result. We know that Kelso is or isn't, and on to what crashed last time out in the team's home GP, but Cruz says he was up there in.
Yeah, it was exactly that, and to do that in Moto3, 8 points rides for in the Moto Junior class as well. So Cruz says who, as we've got a yellow flag somewhere on the circuit, don't quite believe it has gone down the road at turn 10, looks like, this weekend.
Bit of a crashing hotspot, isn't it? I think last time out, still chasing his first point distinct at the moment in this session, likewise as well. Top 10 already this season, thinking back to his 9th place EP category, 2024, times it's Buriram. So even though the result didn't come in, get himself up in the qualifying standard.
To the top 10 over in the last few laps, but like you say, was it love in Moto3? Enrico Samalo were just watching, he was chipping away at things, got to be said. DNF had a crash on Saturday morning, it's pretty much turn 2, fast right hand kick. He did describe it as one of the toughest weekends as we saw what happened. Had a massive crash for S's at turn 10 maybe. What the bike did in the gravel, tumble rolled. Yeah, he admitted afterwards, Samalo, that it was his most used to the number 27, and I think it should be a better weekend.
Attacking Danish, Alvaro Carpe, Max 9th for Cruz says Marco Morelli, really just not having a very fun season of those 3 either, so tough weekend perhaps. Probably quite quick in the wet, spoke with him after though, Moto3 bike, came away with a top 10, so point sectors all the way through this trek so far. In prospect is the 13. Yeah,
100%, sent them on last time out as well, so equal best finish. That Danish was phenomenal in the wet. I think Red Bull rookies into Moto3, completely different prospect. There's an Adrian Fernandez up front, the 31, just in a way from Danish. Yes, I think expectations include very, very strong in those conditions. A bit surprising how much of a difference, similar machines but different specs, Moto3 compared to the Red Bull rookies bikes. And he's a really exciting prospect from the layouts in the second half of this season, and maybe even
does when we're over into